Now, today joining me is someone special. You know, she is one of the advocates of road safety and public health. And not only that, a social entrepreneur. Allow me, let Mable say hi because she's already in the building. I hope I have introduced you perfectly well, honey. Say something.
Nice to be on Sanyu FM. Dear listeners, thank you so much for listening in. I hope we'll continue interacting. Thank you so much. I'm blessed.
I'm actually very happy to have you here. You know why? Because you just said road safety, like road safety. That alone, let's just begin with that. We're about to talk about the elephant in the room because there's something happening in our roads. And I'm really happy that you're here. And I'm very sure you're going to be answering that. But before we get there, how would you describe yourself to the world?
Wow, thank you. That's a tough one. Well, I'm a mother. I'm a child of God. I'm a daughter of my mother. I'm outgoing. I love to interact with people. I'm passionate about my work or passionate about the things I put my hands to. Yeah, that's me. I love the community. I love people. I care about people's health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that will do for now.
Okay. I'm actually loving this. And I was waiting for you to say Corey. How come you've not said Tomusange? Yeah. Why haven't you added that Tomusange in it? But I was like, okay, I hope I pronounce it right. That's why I was just saying Mable as I was waiting for you to bring it up. But I'm happy I pronounced it right?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
That's quite amazing. Well, what inspired you to become an advocate for road safety and public health?
Wow. Thank you. My story is long. Actually, my coming to road safety, it wasn't an inspiration initially, but I know that somewhere there you talked about a story that happened. But I was a young girl who was looking for a job. Oh, and by the way, maybe before I even start, when I left campus, I applied for a job at Sanyu. I think it was Sanyu TV. I did.
Wow.
People used to tell me I could be a good anchor. They loved my voice, and so I thought I could give it a shot. So when I left campus, I went and did an interview at Sanyu TV, I think. It used to be down there, that road. I think it is Nkuruma Road. I think there was the station there. I applied. I went through the stages. Yes. I even did the voice tests, and I passed.
Yes.
But I don't know what happened after that.
No, but you have a beautiful voice.
So I didn't get the job. I was so disappointed because people used to tell me, I think you can work on radio. I think you can work on TV, etc.
Yeah.
It never happened. So I'm happy to be here. And my daughter is called Sanyu. So
wow, what a coincidence.
My daughter is also called Sanyu. So I'm really glad to be here. So we go back to my story. So as a young girl, I was trying to look for a job, and I first worked for National Book Trust of Uganda. They were looking for someone who had studied library and information science because my first degree at Makerere was library and information science.
Yes.
And so I had my degree, and as you know, we're looking for jobs, thinking that jobs will come. So this job comes, they wanted an administrative assistant. I applied, I did the interview, and got it. So I was the first staff at the National Book Trust of Uganda.
Yes.
And with my background, yes, I could try and do my library work, etc. But I was doing more administrative work because I had to run this new agency, which was supported by several entities. But we were guided by Fountain Publishers. I was working with Mr. James Tomusime, who was my first boss, a very nice boss.
Yeah.
And so I worked there for 2 years. And I got a scholarship to go and do a master's. So I went to Botswana, University of Botswana, and I did a master's in library and information science. Now, when I returned, I looked for jobs again, and there was no work.
What?
So, and it's tough when you leave campus, you think that things are good, they work out for you. They actually don't work out. So with my master's, I moved around to try and find a job. I failed to find a job. Everywhere I would go, they would tell me, you're too qualified. We can't take you. Even my former place, they told me, you're too qualified. We won't be able to pay you. So I used to work with publishers and printers, and we had an association that was being run at the National Book Trust of Uganda.
Yes.
So I approached one of the publishers, and this was MK Publishers. And that gentleman passed away maybe a year ago or so.
Sorry.
I told him, I need a job. And he said, Mable, you're too qualified. I told him, you know what? I will do the work. It's not about money. Let me work.
Okay.
So he agreed to give me a job at Fountain Publishers. I was an editor, and I was still utilizing my skills of library and information science. Remember, I had a master's, so I was a little more experienced. I could design websites, etc.
Yes.
So they found something in me, and I stayed there for about 6 to 8 months. While I was there, a colleague of mine, my friend Irene, called me and said, Mable, there is a new job. There's a job I have seen. It's in Makere.
Nice.
I said, Makere, yes. What do they want? He said, well, they want a community programs officer. I said, what? Yes. But they want someone who has done desktop publishing, which I was doing at MK Publishers.
Oh, yes.
I think you can connect where I'm going.
Yes, yes.
So it was quite competitive. I went through the interviews with, there were some guys who were whites, on the panel. I went through, and eventually I got the job.
Wow.
Now I'm taking you where this road safety thing is starting.
Yes.
So this agency was Injury Control Center Uganda. It was research-based. It was located in Mulago Hospital. So I was given a program officer, young girl. And when I reached there, I found there was a lot of science around me. I didn't think this was what I had opted for. So truly speaking, I learned my road safety work on the job.
Yes.
Because when I reached there, I had to run programs, I had to do research, I had to evaluate programs, I had to be in the community. I did everything I know. I learned on the job.
Duty,
so
yes.
I am grateful for the Injury Control Center Uganda for having trained me. Of course, I think I also had my capacities here and there, but this road safety journey starts at the Injury Control Center as a young girl.
Yeah.
So that is where my journey starts. Yes.
And well, looking through, I was thinking about a little bit of personal experience here and there, because in most cases they'll say probably something happened to someone before you became an advocate. But I love the story and how you actually came to that. But just to rewind us a little bit, if someone was asking, but who is an advocate? Because yes, someone would be like, okay, Corey, you're saying, Mable is an advocate, but how best would you describe, an advocate to someone listening in, like layman language?
I think an advocate could come from two angles. One, if you had an experience, you therefore speak from that point.
Yes.
So I'll tell my story about the experience. So part of it, advocacy is from experience.
Okay.
I'm talking about a lived experience where you have been involved. But secondly, your passion, and maybe you're doing work and you need the world to know. Because when we're doing our work, our area is very tough and people need to know about this. And therefore, the kind of work that we're doing helps you to speak it out, to tell the people, the world, etc.
Yeah.
So you're an advocate. And when you're an advocate, you must have change, when you either the things that you're doing change the world or change people's lives, you therefore become an advocate. But the word advocate could mean so many things, because our legal persons are also advocates.
Yes.
And in civil society, because we advocate or say or promote or push for policy or etc., we still are called advocates. I love advocates. I love advocates.
It's a nice one.
It is from two angles.
Yeah.
So those are the two.
Yeah.
But I could also share my story, but I think it's probably...
Oh, come on.
next.
Share it. That's what we want.
Yes. after working, I started my work in 2003 as a young girl, I mentioned.
Yeah.
After 2-3 years, I had a nasty experience. I had traveled to the United States for a big conference where I had impact on school children. As doing my project was in Kawempe, and I think as looking at your questions, it will come a little ahead.
Yes.
So we had done some work in Kawempe, and therefore I was invited for a conference in Washington, D.C. I was doing work for Safe Kids Uganda.
Yes.
But it globally is Safe Kids Worldwide. Yes. So this is a global coalition of several countries, and in every country there's a representative. So I was coordinating safety work for children in Uganda. Okay. So I had gone for that annual event. So when I returned, I went to check on my son. He was in nursery school at that time, so I wanted to give him a surprise. So I left home to go and check on my son.
Yes.
With surprise, with some goodies, etc.
Of course.
It was around lunchtime, midday, coming to 1.
Yes.
So I left home and went to check on my son. On my way, I got a terrible accident.
Oh my God.
Kitante Road. There's a corner they call the MTN corner. Is where that incident happened.
Oh my God.
Truthfully speaking, I don't know what happened, but when you're in an incident, you don't know how. I had my seatbelt on. That I recall very well. As an advocate, what I speak is what I do. I had my seatbelt on. But I think as I drove, I had either a mechanical failure because my brakes could not work. What I recall is that I kept stepping and stepping and stepping, and the car was not stopping.
Yeah.
I left the lane that was going where I was, and the car crossed the divide of that lane and went on the other side to meet the people who are now coming from golf course and going the other side.
Yes.
I hit a big car.
Jesus.
Now we were at the highest point of the golf course is where my car was heading to. Remember, I was coming from the other side. So I hit this car, and this car hit another car, and that car hit a boda with a passenger and a rider.
Oh my God.
And the car turned, now heading the other side. Because when the people came at the crash scene, they were asking me, "People, where were you coming from?" Because the car was faced the opposite direction in another lane. I picked up my phone quickly. I called my brother because I know he responds very quickly. I called him rescue, and he called someone else also who came quickly. They found me. I was still in the car, confused. My engine was still running. I didn't know what to do. And then they were telling me, "Madam, Jacko engine, remove the engine. The car is going to get on fire." So I turned off the engine, opened the door, and came out. Little did I know that I was expecting a child. I was pregnant.
Oh my God.
I was pregnant. And until I stepped out of the car is when I remembered that I was expecting. My daughter is 18 years. She made 18 a few days ago.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I remembered I was expecting. I moved out of the car. Someone called my husband. I was rushed to hospital. I didn't know. Now, I was not worried about myself. I was worried about my baby. Yeah? So I was rushed to hospital, and when they checked, they found that my baby was okay.
Oh, thank God.
Personally, I had minor injuries on my hand. My car was finished.
Jesus.
Finished, especially the front. It was finished, bashed badly. Remember, there was a collision of so many vehicles, including a motorcycle.
Yes.
That is my story. So when I survived and my baby survived, I said, you know what? Now I must do road safety with even more passion.
Yes.
I must push it until, and that gave me the motivation to continue with this road safety
Oh my God.
Yes.
You almost made me tear. I almost cried in here because honestly speaking, that is so emotional. But, we thank God for life and we thank God that you are here to change someone else's life out there. And now being an advocate for road safety, what are those tips that you feel and believe that anyone who sits right in front of that gear, what are those tips that you think everybody out there should know right now? Because most of our listeners, I must say, are driving or in cars right now.
Thank you. There is something I didn't mention. I had challenges. Okay, when that incident happened, they told me you can get money for treatment, motor third party.
Oh, yes.
I went to Chess Motor Third Party. It was hell.
Another problem.
It was another problem. And by the way, I was harassed by the people who were involved in that crash. They kept calling me. They said they were reporting me. They were taking me to police. It was very traumatic experience.
Yeah.
But now that you asked that question, my car was bashed. Okay, but why? I only had motor third party. I did not know about comprehensive insurance ever. I only knew it then. Why? The car that I hit was, I think, either an ambassador or something. So what happened is that for them, they just took the car because they had comprehensive insurance and it was put back.
Yeah. Yes.
So what am I saying? People out there must insure their vehicles. Motor third party is not sufficient to cater for people who are treated, to cater for repair of the car, whatever. If you have comprehensive insurance, your own car will be repaired. The person's car who has been involved will be repaired.
Oh,
all things will be in there. The
really?
people, yes. The person, for example, the person in the boda.
Yes.
I mean, everything would have, because that guy broke his arm.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And then he went to hospital for treatment, etc. He kept sending me messages. He wanted money for treatment. It was so traumatic. But if you're on comprehensive insurance, some of those challenges will be covered up by comprehensive third party. So that was lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 was people must fasten their seatbelts. It is a must.
Yes.
You must fasten your seat belt. It is a must. I am sure that if I didn't have my seat belt on, I don't know, because remember I hit a big car and my car was going down at the deepest side of golf course. I had my seatbelt on, okay? And then the other lesson that I learned from this incident is that when you're traveling or going anywhere, let at least one person know where you're going or what your plans are.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Because most times you move and someone is like, we didn't even know. Because remember, I left home. My husband didn't know where I was. So to tell him that I've been involved in a crash, he was in shock because he left me at home. If I told someone that, actually, I'll go and check on my son, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't. So when you're going somewhere, let at least someone know where you're going. You can send now things are easy. There's a WhatsApp, let someone know so that in case there is any incident, someone knows that actually you are along that way or you are going here. But if you don't know, you leave your family shocked.
Yes.
Wondering what happened. And it's very traumatic.
And I must say, many people just try to avoid that one.
Most
people never want to say where they're going. They're always scared. I don't even know why, but in most cases, you just feel like when you go with the wind and nobody knows, probably that's when you're safe. But I think that's when you're not safe.
You should be. Sister, someone should know where you're going. That, this morning when I leave work, I have a meeting here, I'll go out of town, etc. It can be so shocking to be told that someone is in a crash and you left the person at home. So,
I know.
Oh my God,
So, well, to those listening in, at least we've learned something. I didn't know about that insurance, but I am so adding it to my car. But then with all that, I kind of listened to you said you're willing and always ready to help people. So can you share any life-changing experience that you have had while working, being an advocate for road safety and public health?
Okay, thank you. I have 2 scenarios. They're very simple, but they touched my heart.
Yes.
One time I went downtown. I had gone to look for some stuff for myself.
Yeah.
And in the crowds of Owino, someone kept saying, Teacher Mable, Teacher Mable, Teacher Mable. I was like, no, it's not me. Yeah. So the voice continued. It was a little boy from a school, Nachivubo Blue. Is a school there near Clock Tower.
Yes.
Where I happen to have gone and taught.
Oh.
By the way, I go to schools and teach and talk about road safety.
Yeah.
So this is one of the schools that I had gone.
Yeah.
And so when I met this little boy, I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
But when he said Teacher Mable, I was sure it is me, because when I go to schools, people call me Teacher Mable. So I asked him, what is your name? I could not remember the boy's name.
Yeah.
But I asked him, what is it? He said, you taught me about the zebra crossing.
Oh, wow.
I was touched. I was so touched.
And the
by
little
that
ones
I was
never
really
forget.
so touched. He said, you taught us about road safety.
Yeah.
And I go to Nachivubo Blue.
Yes.
I was so touched. One of our own schools right there near Clock Tower. I was so touched.
Wow.
So that is story number one. The other one is that a parent approached me in one of the schools that I have been going and said, are you the lady who's telling our children to command us in our own cars? I said, Madam, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, our children are telling us, Teacher Mable said we should not use our phones. Teacher Mable says the children should not sit at the front of the vehicles. They should sit behind. Our children are commanding us. The other time I had no parking. I went to the I parked on the pavement.
And she was reminded.
The child was saying, Mommy, Teacher Mable said parents are not supposed to park on the pavement. So are you the one who's commanding are you the one telling our children to command us?
Yes.
To tell you the truth, I had no words for this lady. I just looked at her because I was also entering a school gate when I met her. She was a parent. I was also a parent.
Yeah.
I just left the lady, but when she passed me, I smiled. I smiled. Yes. I smiled. I said, yes, there is impact. So some children are actually telling their parents what they have learned at school, and they're telling them the right thing. So for me, I just smiled. But I know the parent was not happy.
Now that you're saying that, now it makes a lot of sense, because my daughter also says, Mommy, I don't sit at the front, I sit at the back. Now it's making sense. I think maybe you're doing magic. There's something you're doing to these little ones. But anyway, talking about that, you talk about zebra crossing. And I was like, oh, so we have new zebra crossings in the city. We are still not understanding the zebra crossing. This is Vitenge. Honey.
True.
Mable, help us understand why of all zebra crossings that we're so used to black, white, and now we're going for all these colorful, zebra crossings. So why are we choosing that?
Truthfully speaking, of course there are things that are changing, and as road safety advocates, there are some, I don't know how to call it, there are some calls that are international. And sometimes we follow international calls to action.
Okay.
So if there is a change globally, as Uganda, we must adopt to the international standards or something like that. So initially our zebras were painted yellow, etc. The painting is black and white, and that's what it is. And I think our people in KCCA and around Kampala and all over are supposed to be using the black and white. But originally we used to have a bit of yellow somewhere. Yes, when you go up country, actually, you see more yellow than black and white. But here in town, I think the regulations right now, the technical wings at KCCA are ensuring that all zebra crossings are black and white.
Okay, I'm actually loving the way you've explained that one. So looking through, I must say with all that you have said, already we have evidence of little ones and parents and all that. So that means you've already achieved a lot. But what are some of those most rewarding moments that you've experienced in advocacy that you also sit back and you say like, oh yes, now that was rewarding? What are some of those?
There could be several, but I want to go back to some work that I did in Kawempe.
Okay.
There's a school called Kawempe Muslim Primary School.
Yes.
It is at the junction, the busiest spot in Kawempe. There's a petrol station, there is a market, there is a school. It's extremely busy.
Yes.
About 10 years ago, I went to visit this school because we were teaching. As I told you, I keep going to schools, we teach, we train, etc. So when I went there, I was shocked by the statistics that the school told me. They told me every term, Yeah?
Yes.
They have 5 children that are either knocked dead or injured at that spot, at that junction of Kawempe.
Okay.
So I asked the head teacher, are you sure? He said, yes. Every time we have 5 cases, it's either a child knocked dead or a child being injured. We actually have a child who has been disabled, as that is about 10 or so years. So we approached Rotary. And I remember that time it was Rotary Club of Arch. I don't know whether that is still there, but they used to sit at Grand Imperial Hotel. That's where they used to have their meetings.
Yes.
So Rotary, through another Rotary Club of Albertus, which is in Canada, agreed to give us some money. And that money was supporting projects and schools. The project was a 40-school program. So we're in 40 schools in Kawempe. Now, at that particular spot, we put a zebra. First of all, we put a speed bump.
Wow.
We put Rambo strips.
Nice.
Rambo strips are the tiny little bumps.
Yes,
The smaller bumps.
Yeah.
We put a zebra crossing. We put a speed bump. We
Yes.
put Rambo strips, and we put a zebra crossing.
Wow.
Yes. And we put some signs. And signs are supposed to be on either sides of the road. I've told you, it's already a risky area. There's a petrol station, so there are cars that are entering to take fuel.
Well,
There is a market. There's a market, and it's on either side of the road. But children cross from that spot. It's away from the junction because you don't put a zebra crossing and bump in the middle of the
road.
So it's on the side. So we put it there.
Yes.
Guess what? That time when we put that speed bump and all those interventions,
Yes.
there was 0 incidents. 5 to 0.
Oh my God.
5 to 0.
Now that's amazing.
And when I went to the US, because I told you that we'd go for our annual events and you present on the things that you have done,
Yes.
we got an award.
Oh my God.
We got an award because
Congratulations.
we saved lives of children from 5 to 0.
Yes.
My boss was so excited. Was so happy. And I'm the one who went to the US. I picked the award and came back with the award.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
Well,
that has been one of my best moments.
Mabel, a big congratulations.
Thank
you know,
you.
I can feel it because I'm a mother, so I'm quite excited that so many lives were helped.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, most times people don't really understand.
Sure.
So they can think, they're just disturbing us on the road.
True.
But you have no idea. The signs are there. And for them to be there is that you're saving so many lives. Well, Mabel, let's go ahead and take a small, tiny break. When we return, we'll be having more. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still listening in, we're having Mable Tomusange, who's giving us a little more about, road safety and public health. So if you have any questions about the road, send me a quick WhatsApp on 0752711820 and I'll be asking Mabel. Now, she has been on the road safety and public health advocacy for a very, very long time. And truth be told, you already had the sweet stories, the rewarding stories, and the amazing experience. And well, she's still here with us, but they all say most times with all that done, there are challenges. Mabel, what has been your biggest challenge that you have faced in promoting road safety and public health?
Thank you. I think one of my most disappointing points in my work is that the challenges that we have, and I'm going to be very sincere with what our challenges have been. One of our biggest challenges is that road safety is not yet a priority. Not much funds have been invested in from government, from corporate companies. So one of the biggest challenges is funding, because you have to write proposals, you have to write grants. By the way, the money we use to do these activities doesn't come from government.
What?
It does not come from government.
Oh my God.
We get money from other international agencies. We get money from other big civil society organizations. We use our own little monies from our pockets to do advocacy for road safety. So the challenge of funding is a big deal. There's a lot we can do in awareness if we had the funds.
Yes.
And for me, I call on the government through the key ministries, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Works and Transport, and all other ministries, because road safety is a multi-sectoral activity. We need to engage all departments, all ministries, several ministries, to push headway this big monster called road safety. Yeah, but there is no funding. Because when you do the grants and the calls, and it is not obvious that you get, the competition is extremely steep, and it could be steep looking at the nations that are also applying, because sometimes these are global grants, etc. Small Uganda, how do you be able to get this money? We want government to invest in road safety. People are dying.
Yes.
And so many people are dying.
Yes.
Right now, when you look at the statistics, they are worrying because every year the number increases. We have people who are dying. We have people who are disabled for life. We have people who have minor injuries. My God, the statistics are not good. And why the statistics are not good? One, for example, right now, boda is a big deal, contributing to
very
over
big one.
60%.
Yes.
But the other worrying aspect, I am a mother, 5 to 24 years is at risk. So we are looking at school-going children, and we are looking at campus or university students in higher institutions of learning. So as a mother and a parent and an advocate, I worry about those statistics. So funding is a big deal.
Yes.
I am saying it again. We need government to support road safety. Invest monies, because we have seen other African nations that have invested heavily in road safety, and it has yielded good results. Why isn't our government investing in road safety?
Oh my God,
That's a big one.
I love the way you have actually said, because honestly speaking, like, why isn't government doing something? There's every single day they're giving us numbers. Oh, there are accidents here on this corner at this time. But why aren't you investing?
They are doing something, but I'm saying invest big time. Because for them as government or policy makers, they're making the policies etc. But what about the implementation? Because one of the biggest challenge we have as advocates is to have so many laws. They are not enforced. They are not implementable. And to implement this, there's need for money. But civil society is exhausted because we are putting in a lot of monies to push this cause. We need government as our biggest investor in road safety. And to tell you the truth, if they do put in monies and invest, they enforce, they implement and follow up, we will see changes on our roads. We just need some extra effort. And all the other stakeholders out there, we need corporate companies to come on board. Because truly, no one walks in the air. Hello, all of us are on the road. So if all of us are on the road and we are all users of the road, please come and support the road safety advocates so that we move this cause. People are dying. Our children are dying immaturely, and we are losing a lot of workforce, and people are helpless in hospitals. Go to Molago. We have boda wards full of everyone's leg is up. When you talk to the surgeons, when you talk to the health facilities, over 60% of the budgets of hospitals are going to surgeries of people who have been in road traffic crashes, especially bodas. Why can't government invest? Why can't they implement? Why don't they enforce? Just doing policy and throwing them to us is not enough. We need to invest, and big time investment.
Well, I love Mable. This is something that I believe right now it just sunk into anyone listening in, and they are around those grounds that can help us get this right. Please make it right. But then again, Mable, how do you balance, being an advocate and family life? Because I love the way you talk about your family, being a mother, So how do you balance this too? Because most times people can be around all that, but then they just don't have balance. It doesn't balance.
Thank you. It's not easy. It's not easy. Truthfully speaking, it's not easy. Currently, I am a student. I am a mother. I have a business to run. I have relatives looking on me. I have to take care of my mother. I have siblings. Yes. Literally, there's just too much. But the grace of God, the grace of God can help you overcome this. But it's a tough one.
Yes.
It's a tough one. Some of the things I do, I apportion my time well. It's time to go to church, I go to church. It's time to go to school, I go to school. Yes. It's time to go to the office, I go to office. But when I reach home, it is home.
Yes.
I don't want to take work at home. Yes. When I'm at home, I want to give time to my husband, give time to my family, time to my children. I leave everything at my gate. And when I enter home, I'm mommy. I take care of my home. But truly speaking, it's a tough one to juggle school, work, motherhood, wife, and other social requirements that we need to do, you know. So it's not easy, but you need to juggle. And I think women are good at multitasking here and there.
I think we're gods.
We can do that. And sometimes the men don't get it. They're like, how did you happen? How do you? I've undergone a very tough season. These last 6 to 8 weeks have been so strenuous on me.
Yes.
But I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I've been victorious, and I'm so happy about myself, how I've juggled all those 4 at the same time. I'm proud of myself, but I'm proud of my God because I think I have a pushing force behind me.
Yes.
My God is with me, and I know even when there are challenges before me, it will be well with me. So I am happy.
I love the way you've said it. And not only that, I also love the fact that you say timing is everything to balance life and family. So what do you think, if you're to look at it all, what do you think needs to change and improve road safety? Because I think everybody tries to learn the signs and all that. But since you've been on the ground and you've seen so much up and about, what do you think should be put in place to just, to help change?
Okay. Thank you. There's a lot I think we can do, but mindset change is very important. One thing I've noticed about us Ugandans, we think that road safety is for police. We think that road safety is for the Ministry of Works. We think that road safety is for others and not for us. Road safety is a personal, individual responsibility, and that's where it starts. You as an individual take your full responsibility to ensure that you're safe and put on your armor. Use the safety gear that have been given to us. They have been proven to work because people abroad have done all the tests on them. There's evidence that the seatbelts work, that the helmets work, that all these things that you see that are being done and advocated for work. But why don't we use them? So this is an individual call. It's a personal call. It's not for police. It is you. When you're in a crash, they won't call the police. They'll call the police to do other things, but it won't be you. It will affect you as an individual. So I want Ugandans and the listeners out there to take this as a personal initiative. Don't wait for police. And let's work together. As I said, this is a multi-sectoral thing or activity or call. Let's see all sectors put efforts. Don't leave government alone. Don't leave police alone. Don't leave the road safety advocates alone. Let's come together and support. Civil society is there, the multinationals are there, the corporate companies are there, the banks are there, all the stakeholders, the community people are there, the people in the health facilities. Let's support one another and we push this cause in the right direction.
And what signs should be added?
Sorry?
What signs should be added to the signs we have, to the road safety signs that we have? What's that sign that you think is missing, that you've seen maybe in another country that you think should be added to Uganda?
No, that's a tough one, and I don't think I'll be able to articulate on that because different signs work differently in the different locations. So That I'm not able to answer.
I was going to say they should add us a sign of potholes ahead. Like, come on, dust ahead. Yeah, with all that is happening in Uganda right now.
Yeah, of course I know it is a big issue, but
and even the other issue that should be added is the president is passing. You're going to wait for 2 hours. Something like that, because
those things are quite painful. Those things are quite painful, but. Let me mention something that I've left out that probably I need to add.
Yes.
One of my other disappointing issues, now that you've mentioned those two, I actually remembered. We need politics out of road safety.
Say it again.
We need politics out of road safety efforts. This is about life.
Yes.
This is saving lives. This is not political. This is a social cause. It's a public health cause. But when politics is entangled in our efforts, we can't move. Yeah. Right now, we can't breathe. We can't breathe because there's a lot of politics in road safety work. We need to breathe. We want to save lives, but
our time is catching up with us, honestly, but you were right. The conversation needs more and more hours.
Sure.
But anyway, any last remarks and any message to the listener right
now? First of all, I want to send my thumbs up to all road safety advocates. They are there. There are very many, the male and the female entities, individuals, the ministries concerned, Ministry of Works, Ministry of Health, for all the work they are doing. People in health facilities, thank you for saving lives. Radio here, Sanyu, thank you for hosting me. It was nice.
Wow.
Heads up for my family, Mr. Tomusange, my mother, Dr. Musazi, my siblings, wherever you are, my children, wherever you are, and all the people that we associate with, but also the people who are supporting our work. Some are international, many of them are local. Some of the companies that are supporting our work, the corporate companies that have come on board. But lastly, I'm calling upon the public. Let's stand for road safety. I'm calling on the corporate companies. Please, we are more than ready to serve this nation. We need support, especially financial support. Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming through for the lunch date. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I had for you. But looks like my time is off also for being here. I already see Dita is in the building. She's going to be cutting off with a drive with Jalua. But for me to you and Mabel, we're saying bye.